Hi guys, it's Sherry. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. Let's make something fantastic. Y'all stay tuned. So today I am going to combine two of my favorite things, the love of writing and the love of making paper purses. And that is exactly what we're going to do today. We are going to make the most adorable paper purse. And this purse is designed to hold stationery. So what you'll get in this purse, and I'll just go ahead and untie it so you can see, you're going to get a set of 4 note cards with envelopes, and you're going to get a set of 4 writing cards with envelopes as well. So I'm going to set this to the side so that I can show you the beauty of this purse. It is absolutely adorable. So I've used the D-rings that I've used on other paper purses, and this is a D-ring for those of you who may not be familiar with them. And then I use the angle technique that you guys see me use on a lot of projects, not just paper purses. And then I added some flat back pearls for the feet. And this purse is just so doggone adorable. This is a pretty large purse. Even though I've designed it for A2 cards, guys, you can put a whole bunch of different things in here. You can use candies, toiletries, gift cards, whatever you want to put in here. It's a pretty large purse. So it's 7 inches wide at the bottom, but 8 inches wide at the top. And then it's 2 inches deep. So it is a fairly substantial purse. And on the inside, I've got some beautiful, beautiful paper. And I'm going to show you guys the paper that I used for this particular purse. And what I used was the RIVERBANK collection for the outside of the purse. That is my bird paper. And I use RIVERBANK for that. And then on the inside, I chose my liner from the English Garden collection because I thought it was just so pretty. So let's get started on making today's purse. So in making today's purse, we are going to stay down at the riverbank, but we are going to use this gorgeous, gorgeous dragonfly paper. So let me show you what we need to make the purse as well as what goes in it. So we will need 2 pieces of chipboard that measure 7 by 8. We're going to need 2 pieces of chipboard that measure 2 by 7. We're going to need 2 pieces for the strap that measure 1.5 by 12. We are going to need 4 small pieces that measure 2 by 1.5. We're going to need 4 2.5 by 2.5 inch squares. For the side pieces, we are going to need 2 pieces that measure 8 by 3. For the actual outer body of our purse, we're going to need 2 pieces that measure 9 by 12. Then for the cards, we are going to need 4 pieces that measure 3 by 6. For the liner, we are going to need 4 pieces that measure 3.25 by 5. We are going to need 4 pieces that measure 5.5 by 4.25. We're going to need 4 pieces that measure 5.5 by 5.5, and these will be for the envelopes for the 3 by 3 cards. We are going to need 4 pieces that measure 8.25 by 8.25. And then we're going to need 2 sheets that measure 8 by 6.5 to line the inside of the purse. And then we'll need 1 sheet that measures 3 by 7, which will line the base of the purse. So let's get started. The first thing that we'll need to do is we will need to angle our board. So we're going to take our chipboard, and on the 8-inch side, we are going to make a mark at 1/2 inch and at 7.5 inches. And then we'll take our ruler, and you guys have seen me do this before, most of you have anyway. And we are simply going to make a mark from there to there on both sides. just like this. And this is what will come back and cut out in order to get that angle. So I am going to bring in my ruler, bring in my finger blade, and let's go ahead and remove the excess chipboard. And we'll do the same thing over here. Okay, so once I have it cut, what I normally do is I just center it and then just make a mark and cut. But I'll go back over the process for you guys again so that you can feel very comfortable in what we're doing in order to get that angle. So I've got my ruler placed on the 8-inch side. I am going to make a mark at 1/2 inch, and I'll make a mark at 7.5 inches. And then I'll take my ruler, position it in the corner, and then slide it over until I get to my mark. And then I can just draw a line right there, and that is where I'll cut. And then I'll come over to the other side, and I am going to do the same thing. And now I should have two pieces that are fairly close, and I do. So now what I want to do is I want to bring both of these pieces in along with my 2x7 piece, and I just want to match them up before I actually put them down on the paper to make sure that they are fairly close on the sides. I don't want either one of these to be too big. So everything looks good, and now we can put it down. So now I can lift up my tape, and I'll take my other piece, and I'm going to make sure that my stems are going in the opposite direction so everything is in the right direction on both sides of the bag. So I'll get this stuck down just like this, and now I can flip this over and start placing my pieces. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to bring in my 2x7 piece, and I am going to place it so that the seam that I just created with this joint is actually on the bottom. So what I am going to do is take my board and place it down in the middle of my paper. And you want to make sure you do that so that when it starts to flare out, you've still got enough border on the sides. So I'm going to take one of my 7x8 inch papers and place it down using about 1/8 of an inch in spacing. And then I'm going to turn it around, bring in my second one, and place it down using about 1/8 of an inch in spacing. I'll come back with my finger blade here, and I am going to remove some of my excess paper. All right, so once we've got our board down and we've got the excess paper trimmed, we are going to stand this up and then just fold everything over so that we can get this stuck down. And the way that I am going to do this, I am not even going to notch out here. I am simply going to stand this up and just kind of train it to want to fold. And I'll bend it a little bit in the middle. And then I'll come back and I'm just going to fold down, starting in the middle, folding it down right there, and then I'll start folding it outward, just like this. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to start from the middle and just kind of folding it down, and then I'll work it out. And now I can come back and I can miter my ends. And now that my ends are mitered, I am going to go ahead and show you guys how I actually start placing this down without cutting the little darts in it. And let me just go ahead and get my glue down and I'll show you. And we'll do this side together, and then I'll do the other sides off camera. So you can use tape or glue here. I prefer to use glue on this. So all I'm going to do right now is just get that stuck down right there in the middle, and then I'll bring one end up and start folding it down. So I'm going to leave it like this to where this is straight, and then I'll get this piece stuck down, and then I can come back and feed this piece down, and at the same time bend this in just like this, and you can see that it's now got a nice bend to it, and I can come back and just work it down. And I'll just work it in the spine area. Okay, so once we have everything together, it's going to look like this. And now we need to go ahead and do our side pieces. And our side pieces measure 3 by 8. So to make our side pieces, we're going to bring in the 2 pieces that measure 3 by 8. And on the 3-inch side, we're going to score at 1/2 inch, 1 1/2 inch, and 2 1/2 inches. Then we're going to rotate it and score at 1/2 inch on the bottom, and then rotate it to the opposite end and score at 5/8 of an inch. And then we're going to fold and burnish our scores. And then at the bottom where we made the 1/2 inch score down here, we're going to have 2 corner pieces that we need to just get rid of. And then here at the top where we've got that 5/8 inch score, we're going to take some glue and just fold that down on the inside. So now we can come back and we can put our bag together, and all we're going to do is take this 1/2 inch piece here and place it down right here on our spine. So I'm going to do this with some wet glue. You can also do it with hot glue, but I wouldn't do it with tape because tape will not hold if you have something heavy in your bag. So all I'm going to do is place that down just like that. Get that stuck down. When we have them both stuck down, we can come back and put this together. So again, I am going to use wet glue. You can use hot glue for this, no tape. So I am going to take my glue, bring this up, and then I will simply match it up just like this on the side. So I'll get it matched up, and then I'll come back and we'll get it stuck down. So I'll just take my bone folder, go on the inside, get it nice and stuck. And then when I have this side stuck down, what I want to do is move over to the other side. So I'm going to leave this just the way that it is, and I'm going to come over to this side and do the same thing. So I am going to place my glue on this piece. And then I'll bring it up just like this, and I'll repeat the process that I did on the other side. And I think it's just absolutely lovely. I love, 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 love the dragonflies. I think they're cute. So now we can take this and we can just go ahead and just kind of fold it and close it the way that we would do a purse. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and place some additional stability on the base of the bag. So I have a piece that measures 2 by 7. I'm just going to place it down on a strip of 3 by 8 paper, and I'm just going to trim off the excess. And now I have this. So now I can take this and just position it in the bottom of our bag. So to do that, I am going to place just a little bit of glue on the bottom so that it will stay stuck. And then I'm going to take my sides and pop them outward because that'll make it easier for me to work. And then I'll take this piece. I'm going to get it in the corner. And then I'll just push it down on the inside just like that. And what I want to do now is bring in my scoreboard and my strip that measures 1.5 by 12. And I am going to score this on the 1.5 inch side at 3/8. Then I'm going to rotate it to the opposite 1.5 inch side and score that at 3/8. Then I have the small 2 by 1.5 inch rectangle. I am going to put it in on the 1.5 inch side and score it at 3/8. Rotate it and score the opposite end at 3/8. Then I'll take both of these and just fold them over like this. Come back with my glue. And we're going to get these stuck down just like this. Now I'll come back with my glue. I'm going to get this stuck down. So let's fold that over. Come back with the bone folder. So now I'll bring in the one that I've done, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how I'm doing this. So we're going to start with this one. I'll bring in one of my D-rings, and all I'm doing is I'm taking this smaller piece and just folding it in half, just like this. And then I'm going to feed the D-ring through so that the flattened part of the D-ring is in the crease of this. And then we are going to take a thumbtack, and we'll take that thumbtack and we're simply going to force it through this paper. Just like this. So once we've got it through that piece there, we're going to take the handle itself, feed the handle through, bring up about 5/8 of an inch, just like this, and we will take another thumbtack and feed it through. And now what we want to do is we want to bring this over, decide where we want to place it on the board, and then all we're going to do is starting with our top one, because we want to make sure that that's not sticking out at the top. We're going to press down just like that, and now we can take the other one, get it lined up properly and straight, and press down. And now we'll come back on the inside, and I am going to come back with my needle nose pliers and just grab the prong of that thumbtack and bend it over. And I'm going to do that on both of them, but I am very gently bending those because I don't want the heads to break. Then I have my little tiny hammer, and I am going to hammer on the side. And all I'm doing is I'm going to open this up, and I'm hammering down the thumbtacks so that I can't feel them and they aren't in the way and won't stab anyone. So now we have it, and it looks like that. We can do the other side now. So all I need to do is, I'll try to do this upside down, is I am going to feed it through, and I'll do the exact same process that I just did over here. So I am going to take another thumbtack and push it through just like that. And now I can take this, decide where I want it, and starting with my top thumbtack, press through, and then I'll press through the bottom one, just like that. And you can see just how cute that is. I am going to bend the heads of my thumbtack slightly and gently, and then I'll come back in with the side of my hammer and just beat those thumbtacks down. So now we've got this one, and we'll do the back side. Okay guys, so now that our bag is complete, we're going to go ahead and finish it off by doing the inside liner piece. And what we need to do that, we need two pieces that measure 8 by 6.5. And the way that I am going to do this is on the 8-inch side, we are going to take our ruler, place it down, and we're going to make a mark at 5/8, and then we'll make our second mark at 7 3/8. And then all we'll do is come up to our corner and angle down to that mark. And we're going to remove the excess paper. And then I'm going to test this and see how it fits. And I see that I can take off just a little bit. So all I need to do is take off a little bit from one side. So I'm going to follow the angle, come back with my finger blade, and just remove that much to start. And then I'll test it again. This time I've got a very good fit. So all I'll do is I am going to come back with my glue, and I am just going to place glue all over this. And we're going to get it stuck down on the inside. So I'm going to come back, pop my edges out. I'll take my paper and I'm going to place it down on the inside. And I want to make sure that when I'm placing it down, I am getting it nice and straight here at the top. And I'm also covering the thumbtack prongs. So now I'll come back and I'm going to do the other side. And so now we have a beautifully completed bag. And it's just a matter of decorating to your liking at this point. So all I'm going to do is I have these gorgeous little flowers. I am going to take a flower and put some hot glue on the back. And then I'll just position this right here in the corner. You can really bling these out if you want to. You can put sayings all over them, sentiments, however you want to do it. That is all up to you. But this is a basic decoration on a very beautiful bag that really doesn't need much. So now I'll come back and show you how I'm making the cards for the inside. I have a piece that measures 5.5 by 4.25. Then I have a top liner that measures 3 3/4 by 5. And all I'm doing is just running some tape along this. I'm going to take this, and I like this side, and I am going to position that down just like that. And then I have these gorgeous little gold flowers that I am simply going to put a drop of glue on the back, and I can take that and put it up there just like that. And all this does is add some cuteness to something that you can just really turn into a fun little note. And then to make my 3x3 cards, I am using this beautiful rabbit paper. I'm not even going to score it. You can score it if you want, but all I did was folded it in half. And then I'm going to come back, and I have these 2.5 by 2.5 inch squares, and I am going to put them down on the inside for writing. Just like that. And I'm not even going to decorate these because sometimes I think that we don't need to decorate beautiful papers. We need to leave the cuteness of the paper alone. So now I'll come back with my envelope punch board and we'll make the envelopes. So we're going to have 4 envelopes for the 3x3s, and we'll have 4 envelopes for these. So for the 3x3s, I know I need a 5.5 by 5.5 piece of paper. And I need to score this at 2 3/4. And this process will be the same for the larger envelope. So I'm going to put this in at 2 3/4. I'll score. I'll come back and find my score mark, align it with my pointer, and I'll keep doing this process all the way around. And then I'm going to bring in my larger one for the A2. I'll bring in the larger sheet for the A2 envelope, and it tells me that I need an 8 1/4 by 8 1/4 piece, and I need to score this at 3 5/8. So I'm going to move it over to 3 5/8, punch, and score. Then I'll turn this and do the same thing. So I will align this score mark with that punch pointer there. Come back on the inside. And then I'll just keep rotating this until I have my envelope completed. And now all I'll do for both envelopes is fold and burnish. And then once I have my envelopes folded and burnished, I'll come back with my glue. I'm going to get those two figured out which way I want them to go. I'll take my glue and position it there. And then I'll come back and just place some glue along the edge here. And I'll fold this and we'll have an envelope. Okay guys, so our beautiful stationery purse is all done. We have got these wonderful stationery cards and 3x3 note cards to go along with it. I'm going to bring the other stationery set back in so that you guys can see just how adorable these really are. So guys, I hope that you have liked this project. If you have, please hit the like button. If you are not a subscriber to my channel, I would love to have you join my online crafting family. You guys have a great day. Happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.